Hey, good morning. I realize I've not been making posts about our episodes when they come out. And I thought, I really don't have time to sit down and type something out and go through that whole thing. So I'm just going to start making some videos from time to time talking about the episode of the week. Obviously, the episode came out on Monday. It's towards the end of the week now. Wanted to come to you and tell you how special I think this week's episode was and tell you a little bit about what's in it. Brian and Kim Walker, yes, they sponsor the show, and it might seem like we're saying it because they're sponsors, but it's not that. They are huge supporters of our industry in many, many ways. They are a part of our industry, right? They came from our industry, and they know the struggles that especially shop owners and technicians go through. And beyond that, they've really become really close friends of mine over the past couple of years, and especially over the past year and a half after some of the things that I went through. Kim and Brian both really became part of my support structure, and it was really impactful for me the way that Kim checked in and Kim made sure that I was okay and that, I had somebody to talk to, and then she went through things that were similar to what I'd been through, and so we really connected at a level, and I don't know if she knows how much I appreciate it. I mean, like, words could not express how much I appreciate what she's done for me and the fact she's been there and the way that she's been there. But this week's episode, we really talk about some important things. Now, many of you know that in my personal life, some things happened not to do with the shop, with another business that really opened my eyes and made me think about things in a different light. And one of those things was access. Now, in this week's episode, we talk about health, we talk about exercise, we talk about employees, we talk about a lot of things. But the most impactful part of this week's episode for me really was this access component. Now, Kim and Brian explain how it is they give their employees access, and that may be access to passwords, access to credit cards, access to customer accounts, whatever it may be. But I've been through something recently where there are hundreds of accounts, right? And my business has hundreds of accounts, social media accounts, credit card accounts, vendor accounts, right? There's a password and a login for everything these days. And one of the things that I have found or seen is that it's really hard to track and keep up with. And so we talk about this in the episode, and I was thinking about my wife, like, what would she do if something happened to me and she didn't have my cell phone? How would she gain access to all this stuff? How would she even know where to look? What about investment accounts? What about things that she doesn't know about? And for years, we've talked about black books and things where people could go if something happened to you and the importance of that documentation. I do not have that, okay? Let me just tell you, I have never taken the time, and I don't feel like I have the time to sit down and do this. Well, in this episode, we talk about how Kim and Brian manage this. We talk about employee access security, because if you have somebody running your business, you have somebody working in your business, you have to give them access. And we all know that the employees, boys, you go through a honeymoon phase. You think they're the best thing. You think they're the greatest fit. They're going to do all these things for you. And most of the time that's the case. However, sometimes that doesn't turn out to be the case. And so we really dig in and talk about how do we secure ourselves? How do we protect ourselves? Especially when it comes to family members taking over the business. How do we make sure that that documentation is in place and that we have redundancy? So you guys go check out the episode. I'm going to drop the link down in the notes of this video. There are also plenty of ways to watch. You can watch it on YouTube, Spotify. You can go to our website, changingtheindustrypodcast.com. Most importantly, I'd ask that you share and like the episode. If you're on YouTube, really appreciate a share on there. Really appreciate you making a Facebook post or a social media post about the episode, because what we're hoping to accomplish with the show is not get bukus and bukus of listeners. Yeah, I mean, that's great and all, but that's not why we do it. We do it so the message can reach other people, the people who don't know about this yet, the people who don't have the perspective. Now, I'm not saying we give you the answers in the podcast. I'm not saying that the podcast is some like great teaching element. The hope is that we help other shop owners, technicians, service advisors understand they're not alone. We hope to provide them perspective and let them hear about how other people do it. And we hope to create curiosity. We hope to create curiosity so they will go ask questions. They will go do research. They will look at things in a different light, because we truly believe that's how we're going to improve our industry. It's not about giving the answers. It's not about having serious conversations. It's about making sure people know they're not alone and there's a whole industry here to support them. You guys have a good day.